Hey everyone, I'm Bardot, founder and creative director of House of Nyabinghi, and welcome to Rap and Chat, your moment in the month where the creative culture meet for conversation, preferably with a glass of Caribbean spiced rum and a dash of Pimm's and a healthy side of fried plantain. So let's get into it, and don't forget to click, subscribe, and leave your comments below. Welcome everyone to this month's Rap and Chat. Our guest this month is the wonderful Jacqueline Shaw, founder, business advisor, and global speaker for Africa Fashion Guide. Welcome, Jacqueline.
Hi, Bardot. Thank you for inviting me. Looking forward to this conversation today.
Wonderful, thank you. And we're looking forward to speaking with you as well. As we do at the start of our podcast, for every guest, we have a quick fire round. And this, Jacqueline, is just to get you warmed up. It's going to be 1 minute, quick fire, Jacqueline. If you need to give us an explanation on anything, feel free. Otherwise, 3, 2, 1, start. Favourite genre of music?
R&B all the way.
Favourite album?
Gosh, I can't remember the name, but it's one of the Fred Hammond gospel albums.
Oh, okay, gospel album, okay.
Yeah.
What's your favourite day of the week?
Oh, gosh, Sunday.
Why Sunday?
Church day and chill day. Church and chill.
Okay, cool. What's your favourite cartoon or cartoon character?
Favourite cartoon character has to be Wiley Kit and Wiley Cat.
Okay. Ghanaian or Nigerian jollof rice, and why?
Hey, this one now. Oh gosh, Ghana.
Oh no, all right.
Niger.
Okay, Niger. Okay, and your last question, because we've just come up to a minute. Your last question. Growing up, were you a team stocking foot, team head wrap, team bonnet, or did you just take your chances and leave all your grease over the pillow when you were sleeping?
Always tights.
Stocking foot. You're original like me. Yay!
Until you realise that, wait a minute.
Wicked. Well, thank you so much for that. That is the fire round done. Thank you. And it's nice to know that I'm not the only person that's in the stocking foot head wrap.
Many of us.
Yo, those were the days. So, starting with your childhood, what I want to ask you, if we can lead into the first question, what is your African diaspora heritage and where did you grow up, please?
Okay, so British born to Jamaican parents, and I guess the connection would be through, well, we know the main connection, through the transatlantic slave trade. But directly, I know my grandfather was from a group of people called the Maroon Tribe, who were runaway slaves in the Caribbean. And they were warriors and badass. So that's my link to the continent.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, which part of Jamaica are your family from? Mine are from Spanish Town, St. Catherine, my parents.
They're St. Mary or Portland, around them sides, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Country.
And growing up, who was your greatest inspiration? Was it a family member? And if so, please share with us who that person was and why.
I don't think I really had much. I could say it was this person or that person, because there was a lack of representation of who maybe a black woman.
Okay.
But I would always say there was a multiple of people from the youth pastors at my church growing up when I became Christian quite young, like 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I made that path from then through to my good friend's mother, who was quite instrumental in my Christian faith, who brought me to church as well, and encouraged my journey, prayed with me and so forth, and even today is still one of my greatest prayer supports. Through to the writers of books that I read. I was a bookworm, so I loved Toni Morrison. I loved Maya, of course, absolutely. And then even books like Flowers in the Attic and all these things all inspired me in my reading and my desire for words and writing and then becoming an author myself. So loads of different authors and just different people through my faith walk as well have been quite inspirational over the years.
Thank you for sharing that. And just to pick up on what you're saying about with the church, you were saying you followed that pathway quite young. Is it possible to just ask very quickly how that came about? Because obviously I know with a lot of us, or a lot of kids, we get that introduction obviously through being christened early, and then we go Sunday school. And so you're saying you found that pathway quite early in your teenage years. What was that influence or a favourite childhood memory to do with the church? You know, if you shared that with us in terms of that foundation for who you are today.
I mean, yeah, I was christened as a baby, which isn't really biblical for those who are of the faith. I mean, like from the sense of what was done in the Bible, what we should follow. So it wasn't actually biblical in that sense. And I did go and get baptized myself later and made my own decision as you know Jesus, as the works of Jesus and following the faith. But as a young person, I mean, I grew up in a Church of England school, having assemblies with Christian directions in that sense, and but I never really went to church with my family. It was it was a challenging childhood in some ways. There was aspects of it that many people might have gone off the rails, but for me, I just chose a path. I just felt that there was more to life, and moving around the country, moving around and going to different schools. And then I met a couple of people who were Christian, a Nigerian and a Trinidadian, and they grew up where their parents were. They were PKs, so pastors' kids. Yeah, and just going to church with them and just to youth. I just thought they're just. This is actually quite interesting. It's quite fun, and I'm somebody who loves to learn. Okay. So through that experience, really, then I made my decision that I want to follow this path. Okay.
And thinking of that now, from that pathway to where you are now, if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be and why?
I would give them that advice that was a word that I had last year, at the beginning of last year, which was live life intentionally, live it out fully. And something I feel I have done, because I think I've done quite interesting things in my life, but sometimes I would self-sabotage and stop myself from doing some opportunities, and it's like, why do you do that? But I would be like, no, live it out fully, live it intentionally, and take advantage of the opportunities in life.
Okay, thank you for that. And so we're going to get into the next bit about the creative industry and your expertise. But leading into that, what does your morning routine look like?
Morning routine is so different now because this whole kind of hybrid working. If I'm going to go somewhere to work, into an office, into a space, or if I'm going to be working from my home office. But generally, I mean, it starts with giving thanks, prayer, and then I usually go back to sleep because that's quite early in the morning, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and then maybe go back to sleep. And then I'm not gonna lie, I love my bed. I'm not the kind who just jumps up.
Me too.
I love my bed and I love sleep, and I think it's the best thing ever invented or needed for my body. So I am a bit of my husband will call me long ting because I do take forever whilst I'm getting ready. But it's not one of those, do my yoga and I do this and that. The main thing is having prayer in the morning. But after that, just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Diving in, should I say, more into your expertise.
Yes.
Was it always your intention to work within the creative sector?
I probably would say yes, because I remember even my sister would be like, I remember when you got the fashion wheel, this toy back in,
I remember
it must have been the 80s then, I guess. Yeah. And those who are old enough may remember it. And the fashion wheel was like my opportunity to draw and design, and I always was making clothes. I always show you making clothes for my teddy bears because I never had dolls. And just little scraps of fabric that I got from school, and I just would sew it with by hand. And so I was always creative. Maybe I didn't really decide to be a designer until I was at school, you know, I remember my home tutor, or not home tutor, your main tutor.
Yeah.
She was not happy. She was Nigerian, and she was like, oh, because I was good at maths, I was good at English.
Okay.
I'm going down this art route. Like, really? No. She was not happy.
Yeah.
I remember that. But I just felt, you know, I went with my heart, and maybe I could have gone with my head and made more money in my career, but I went with my heart and followed the creative route. And I think it actually has been a great route for me. So I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I stepped out and took that risk, because it is a risk.
And off that, what is your personal evolution within the specific area of your creative industry? So if you could let our audience know, from the moment you decided, actually at school, yeah, I do want to go to the creative pathway, what then happened? Was it school, GCSEs, which American audience, that's your GED equivalent, or for our European audience, if you're French, it's the baccalaureate, international baccalaureate, something like that, I think it's called. Did you go to college? Did you go to university? What happened in terms of where you were working? And I know, obviously, you and I had that chat, so I know you worked in Europe and you were also in Asia, and then you set up African Fashion Guide. So tell us about that evolution, how that happened, please.
Yeah, so from school, you do your GCSEs. I loved art from then. So I decided, when I did my A-levels, I did A-level, 3 A-levels, I did art, maths and English. Mm-hmm. So the academic subjects that I was good at, apparently, and then art that I loved. Uh-huh. And I did pretty well in those. I got very good grades in those. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to go and do a fashion degree. But, hey, that was my decision. The reality was that I didn't get in. And I got rejected from every single offer.
No,
every single
really?
University I went to, yeah. My problem was, at the time there was, I don't know if they still have it now, UCAS. And UCAS was the system that you'd go and apply for your degrees.
That's right.
And you tend to put, universities are in categories of first choice and second choice universities.
And third choice, that's right.
And third choice. And I put universities down at the big giants, all down, which they only really pick you if you put them down as first choice. So like Central, St. Martin's, London College of Fashion, Kingston, Middlesex, all these big giants. Yeah. And from the time they first one said no, which I think was Central St. Martin's, and that was horrific, the interview. Horrific.
Really? In what reason, if you don't mind me asking?
Sorry?
In what way was it horrific, if you don't mind me asking?
Horrific because you could just tell, like if you're going for an interview, you just know, they see you, they don't like you. And it wasn't that whole sweetie darling thing, it was just the way that they treated me, the way they treated my work. It was like a lack of respect. Right. We don't like the way you look. They just didn't give me anything.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
So when they said no, I think at that time they just used to take students from abroad. So there was a lot of Japanese students at that time that they used to take on board. But anyway, once they said no, then the others just automatically say no because we didn't put them down as first choice. But London, and none of them else interviewed me. But London College of Fashion did, which I really appreciate. That they were, even though I put them down like number 4 or something on the list, they still gave me an interview. They still said no in the end, but they gave me an interview. So I appreciated that.
Right.
So then I was like, I don't know where the heck I'm going with this. Now it's like August, September's coming. Uni's supposed to start. I ain't got an offer, I ain't got a place. Yeah. Maybe I can do some kind of access course and go down that route for a year and then go and do my degree the year after. I didn't want to, but I thought it's a choice, it's something to do. Right. Got into that, and then I got an offer through clearing for university like a week before with the Surrey Institute of Art and Design. They changed their name now to the UCA in Epsom or in Kent or something like that. Right. So I did that degree. I was one of the few who got on the catwalk. I was one of the few who started the job straight after, even though I wasn't, there was more sweetie darlings in that course. Yeah. As there is. But even from then I did something around Africa. My final collection was about the African slave trade. Yeah. And my dissertation was actually on the role of Black women in film. So looked at negrophilia, looked at just from the Mammy figure to the Halle Berry figure to the, what's her name? How Stella Got a Groove Back. I can't remember her name.
Angela. Are you talking the actress or the author?
The actress.
Angela Bassett.
Bassett, that's her name, yeah. So for those different types of roles of Black women in film. So, I was always kind of about culture, about heritage, about history, about organic textiles, ethical fashion. So, once I finished my degree, I was always in that mindset. But then I went into a career, started working for companies, got a chance to work abroad, in Turkey, in China, and then later on in Germany. But it was around 2009, I decided to do a master's in sustainable ethical fashion. It was one of the first degrees which was a master's focusing on ethical fashion. And I decided to use that master's to explore Africa's textile supply chain.
Right.
I just recently come back from a trip to the continent, my first trip to Black Africa, so to speak, or Sub-Saharan Africa. And I decided to explore, and from there, African Fashion Guide, my company, was born at the end of that.
And what year was that born again, just for the audience, please?
So I started blogging in 2010, and then I launched it officially in 2011 with a conference and a book alongside it.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been, explosive in a good way.
Yes, because it was the conference. I can't remember. I think it might have been the second year conference that you put on. I think that was where I met you for the first time. I'm sure. I don't think it was the first year. I think it was the second year. That was the one that Laduma was at. He was on the panel.
Okay, was that the Rich Mix? Actually, he's been at a few events. Actually, maybe it was the one with Rosario Dawson. That one.
Yeah, I was just about to say it was the one with Laduma on the panel. Rosario Dawson was on the panel with her co-partner.
Yeah, at Brima. It was either 2015 or 2014. That was the after. It was called the African Revolution. So I did it in relation to fashion revolution and the factory collapse in Bangladesh.
That's right.
So that was an integral.
To get more updates on when the next Rap and Chat will be out, don't forget to click subscribe and leave your comments for us below. If you could take the moment, funnily enough, to just mention as well, obviously the launch that you had a few months ago, of the supplier chain that you've built and the website, because that is just a wealth and fountain of information in terms of, accessing textile businesses, both suppliers, whether it be fabrics, accessories, you name it, on the continent of Africa, and you built that platform.
Yeah, that was a vision that so ever since I started doing business coaching and with international students, and then I was doing the trips to the continent, I was like, I want to be able to reach more people. I want to be able to create something that's like an Alibaba of African fashion. And it took me a while to get there, about 5 years, envisioning this thing and getting that together. And it happened in a time where it was not my best time of my personal life, but I was so determined to bring it out, because my main thing is building trade in Africa through the vehicle of fashion. That's most key for me, is that's what the business does. It went from supporting the full supply chain of African fashion and textiles, that was the kind of tagline, to now being about building trade with Africa through the vehicle of fashion.
Okay.
And it's really important that we do that. We're not just taking from the African continent, but doing it through business and trade, working with Africa, working together, exporting and putting money back into the economy on the continent.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really important and really want to do, and creating spaces for the artisans and manufacturers to be able to connect with buyers. So we have monthly meetings with them, put them in front of possible new buyers and opportunities, and a plan to just build this so it becomes like a big tech business of its own. So it's out now, but it's a you could say beta mode or 1.0, and the plan is to increase it and develop it. Hopefully through some funding we can source and just have it as an amazing tech business in the textile industry for African fashion.
Brilliant. What's one thing you've done in this venture that you didn't expect would happen?
In the whole business, you mean?
Yeah.
To be honest, most of the things that I've done, I none of it was expected. I know, I teach people to plan and to strategize when it comes to business. But I think now you kind of have to, you're in an area where you kind of have to be a bit more specific and focus on your plan. When I started, it was more that you just kind of go with it and you get directed by what people would request of you and how you're very more open and led. And I've kind of just let it be that way until the last probably 3-5 years. I've been a bit more focused. But most of the things, I never planned to be doing trips, I never planned to be doing speaking engagements, I never planned for opportunities where I'd be sitting with presidents and talking at government events and being called in by government to host and moderate and speak on their platforms. And I just think that because I've been just focused on the vision, focused on the impact I want to have, the vision I want to have, and the end goal, that doors just open in what I don't expect. All I want to do is leave legacy. All I want to do is build that trade. And the rest that comes is a bonus.
What is a common myth about your job or your field of expertise that you would like to get across to the audience?
I don't think we're going to have time for
Got a list, eh?
Come on now, we're talking about Africa. I remember, oh gosh, it's perception of Africa full stop. That Africa's poverty, Africa's, doesn't have money. It's a whole flight, the Bob Geldof, we are the world, that whole thing with the flies around the Ethiopian babies, that image that people have. And we still kind of do those charities, especially like around Christmas, to pull at your heartstrings. And yes, in many places that is how things are, but that's not what Africa is. That is not Africa. And I think people would think they make fashion, like a wrapper around their body, and that's it, with their boobs hanging out. It's this whole aspect of it being very tribal, and that's just Africa today, where people are surprised. You can have bigger property, you get bigger land. Africa's got beaches, there's the people who do surfing, there's hotels and really, really rich people on that continent. And Africa itself is the richest continent in the world, in my opinion. And for all its resources, it probably is the richest continent in the world.
What I'd like to ask you now is, what's the biggest challenge you're facing in your role or your business right now, and how are you tackling that? The biggest challenge, I'm quite open about it now, was a health scare that I've had over the last year, and how that's impacted me in being able to show up. Because with today's business, that kind of online business as well, you have to be physically there, showing up, doing Instagram reels and so forth. And I wasn't able to do a lot of those lives, and that meant that I'd had to change how I do business, and I wasn't sure when I'd be able to perform or be able to show up. So that's been a major challenge and tough for me, because I'm a get up and go person. But you find it's good lessons, because it teaches you to be able to find new ways of approaching your business, and having systems in place where you can make money without having to show up. And because of that, I like to teach other people about how to do that as well. And I've now got new businesses that I've launched because of my health situation, how things changed for me in business. So absolutely would be that. Okay, thank you for that. And just on that health side, how are you doing today?
I'm stronger. I'm still dealing with side effects from the treatments I've been having, but I feel so much more empowered and so much more, even more focused. People be like, you were always focused, but even more focused and even more driven, even more ambitious and even more determined to live out life intentionally.
Your most important professional mentor?
Professional mentor. I've actually had this man who I met at the Portobello Business Centre many years ago when I had the bridal business, actually.
Okay.
Sewing for European, African and Indian weddings.
Okay.
And I did a course with him on just general fashion business. And he used to work in the industry. His name's David Jones. And he used to work in the industry. He's probably about 80 something now, I believe. I believe he's in the early 80s, but he's still going strong. He's still doing projects and things. And he's somebody who, he even calls me up now. Like, he's not my mentor now, but even like 20 years later, he will call me up. He came to my first event. He's always supporting. And, he will still meet up with me and call me and see how I'm doing and check on me. And I just really appreciate that, because he's old school, but he's also industry, and he'd always tell me more off if he needed to. And I just appreciate the knowledge I got from him, plus the support from him. And I think people like that, they don't find them like that often these days. Yeah. And then apart from that, my master's tutor, Mo, I did 2 masters, but the first one was a sustainable fashion one. And I always remember, like, I could have got a better grade. Like, I'm not really so, even though I've had good grades in the past, I never focused so much on the grade, but more about the result, the work that I'm doing. But I remember, like, she saw potential in me, but she told me when she received one of my assignments that I can't judge you on your potential, I can only judge you and mark you on what you've delivered. In terms of the business, can you share with us where you had a fashion challenge or a business challenge as such, but how you overcame that, and so it ended up becoming a teachable moment for yourself or for your team? There's been so many. I would just say I always go back to this story because I think it's important that I share that. Is that before this business even started, I needed to I wanted to do my masters. I was working full time at Puma at the time, and I wanted to do the masters. I just determination, but I didn't have the money. I was in a lot of debt at that point in my life, from my degrees and everything else. Yeah. And I just wanted to do these studies. And I said, I don't really have the £4,000 just to give out like that. Yeah. So I was trying to ask around for help. And I remember even asking Puma for help, and they told me no, they wouldn't do it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been accepted on this course. I don't have the funds. But I decided, being a Christian, I just put it to God and say, God, you direct me, you can make a way, everything belongs to you. Yeah. I said to him, give me an opportunity to help. So I want your help, but give me an opportunity to help somebody else. And in order to move your hand even more to help me. Yeah. And in that very week, this was the week after Puma said no, and that very week somebody reached out to say, they wanted to go to school abroad, and they were asking around for help, for financial help. And I didn't really have much money, but I just said, you know what, I'll meet up with them, and gave them some money, and just thought, you know what, just leave that be. And this is why I guys know God is real, because it was a week after that happened. I used to bless somebody else, even with my little, that I got a call from Puma, from the management in Puma, even while I was working there, to say, you know what, we changed our mind, we're going to fund your degree. To get more updates on when the next Rap and Chat will be out, don't forget to click subscribe and leave your comments for us below. Who is your style icon? Do you have one? Style icon? Oh. Gosh. I'm in fashion, so I just love anyone who's wearing stuff with colour and print. If you could have coffee with one historical figure, who would you choose? I would love to speak with Harriet Tubman. That's a good one. I would love to speak with her. First of all, to see what really happened. Yeah. So it'd be Harriet Tubman, and then also Nanny Queen of the Maroons.
So, Jacqueline, what would be the title of the book about you if your worst enemy wrote it?
I would call it something like, I'll Be Back.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be and why?
For pioneering the movement in the fashion industry, the global fashion industry, for African fashion manufacturing.
On that, I would like to say, Jacqueline Shaw, thank you so much for sharing with us all your thoughts, your memories, your moments. And is there anything you'd like to add?
I would just like to encourage those listeners who are starting the fashion business, interested in a business with purpose, then manufacturing in Africa is an amazing opportunity, and you can pioneer and do something very different to what's happening in the rest of the world. So I encourage them to follow that route and get in touch if you want me to support you on that journey as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Well, Jacqueline Shaw, this has been your Rap and Chat for this month. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bardot. And let's stay connected. We've got magic to make.
We will do. And we will put all your socials on the blog as well, so everybody can keep in contact with you. Okay?
Awesome.